Communication is the foundation of every successful relationship, every thriving team, and every great leader. If you can connect with people, you can lead them, inspire them, and make a lasting impact. But true communication is more than just speaking. It's about understanding, listening, and making others feel valued. The most effective communicators don't focus on impressing people, they focus on impacting them. They don't just share information, they create transformation. They don't speak to be heard, they speak to be felt. That's the difference between talking and truly connecting. To improve your communication, start by being intentional. Pay attention to the words you use, the emotions you convey, and the way you make others feel. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Next, listen with the goal of understanding, not just responding. Too often we listen to reply rather than to connect. The best communicators make others feel heard before they ever say a word. Finally, communicate with authenticity. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with honesty, vulnerability, and sincerity. When you speak from the heart, you reach the heart. The ability to communicate is the ability to lead. Improve your communication and you will improve your influence. Improve your influence and you will change lives. Communication is more than just exchanging words. It's about creating a connection that resonates beyond the conversation. Many people believe that speaking well means using big words, sounding intelligent, or delivering a perfectly structured speech. But the truth is, the best communicators aren't the ones who talk the most or use the fanciest language. They are the ones who connect. Connection is the foundation of meaningful communication. It is what transforms a speech from just words into an experience. It is what makes a message not only heard but felt. When we communicate, our goal should never be just to get our point across. It should be to create an understanding, to spark engagement, and to leave the other person better than before the conversation started. One of the greatest mistakes people make in communication is focusing too much on themselves. They think about how they sound, whether they are saying the right things or if they are coming across as intelligent. But true communicators shift their focus from themselves to their audience. They ask, how can I serve this person? How can I make them feel valued? How can I ensure that my words resonate with them? When communication becomes about serving rather than showing off, real connection begins. Listening plays a huge role in this. Too often we approach conversations as if they are competitions. We wait for our turn to speak rather than truly listening. But listening is one of the most powerful ways to build connection. People feel valued when they know they are being heard. When you listen not just to respond, but to understand, you make space for real communication to happen. Another key to meaningful connection is emotional intelligence. Communication is not just about words. It's about emotions, tone, and body language. A message can be technically correct, but completely ineffective if it lacks emotional depth. People don't just hear words, they feel them. If you want to connect with others, you have to be aware of how your words make them feel. Are they engaged? Are they inspired? Are they encouraged? Words have power. And when used intentionally, they can build trust and deepen relationships. Authenticity is also crucial. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with realness. When you communicate, be yourself, speak with sincerity, and don't be afraid to show vulnerability. When people sense that you are being real, they will be more open to what you have to say. The most memorable and inspiring communicators are those who are genuine. They don't try to be someone they're not, and they don't put on a performance. They simply share their thoughts and experiences in a way that feels honest and relatable. Great communicators also understand the importance of adaptability. Every audience is different, and what works for one group may not work for another. That's why it's essential to read the room, adjust your approach, and communicate in a way that meets people where they are. If you're speaking to a group of professionals, your tone and content may be different from when you're speaking to close friends. But in both cases, the goal remains the same: to connect. The ability to adapt while staying authentic is what makes communication truly effective. It's also important to remember that connection happens through shared experiences. People relate to stories more than they do to facts. That's why storytelling is such a powerful communication tool. A well-told story doesn't just inform, it engages, it moves, and it stays with people long after the conversation ends. If you want to create a lasting impact, use stories to illustrate your points. Share moments of struggle, lessons learned, and experiences that others can see themselves in. When people see parts of themselves in your words, they connect with you on a deeper level. In leadership, business, and personal relationships, communication is the bridge that brings people together. But that bridge is only strong when it is built on connection. You can have the best ideas, the most insightful perspectives, and the most well-crafted messages, but if you fail to connect, your words will fall flat. However, when you prioritize connection, when you listen, when you are authentic, when you communicate with intention, your words gain power. They inspire, they motivate, and they lead to real change. So the next time you speak, whether it's in a meeting, a conversation, or a presentation, ask yourself, am I just talking, or am I truly connecting? Because at the end of the day, communication is not about saying more, it's about making what you say matter. When we communicate, we often focus on making a good impression. We want to sound intelligent, confident, and persuasive. We want people to respect us, admire our knowledge, and see us as credible. But if our goal in communication is simply to impress others, we miss the true purpose of speaking. Communication is not about making ourselves look good, it's about making a difference in the lives of others. The most effective communicators don't prioritize recognition, they prioritize impact. They don't speak to elevate themselves, they speak to elevate those around them. They understand that the real measure of good communication is not in how eloquent or polished they sound, but in how much their words inspire, guide, and serve others. The focus is never on the speaker, it is always on the audience. People don't remember speeches because of how perfect they were. They remember them because of how they made them feel. They remember the message that challenged them, encouraged them, or gave them a new perspective. If our words don't move people toward action or transformation, then we are only making noise. True communication is about making sure that what we say creates value for those who hear it. This is why intention matters. Before we speak, we must ask ourselves, am I saying this to gain approval, or am I saying this to help someone? Am I focused on sounding impressive, or am I focused on making an impact? When our purpose is clear, our words become more meaningful. They carry weight because they are not about us, they are about those who are listening. To truly connect with people, we must also speak in a way that resonates with them. Sometimes we try too hard to sound sophisticated, using complicated language or industry jargon. But people don't connect with words that feel distant or difficult to understand. They connect with words that feel real, relatable, and personal. The most impactful communicators keep their message simple, clear, and direct. They don't use words to prove their intelligence, they use words to ensure understanding. Listening also plays a crucial role in creating impact. When we listen before we speak, we gain insight into what people need. We learn what matters to them, what they struggle with, and what questions they have. And when we understand our audience, we can tailor our words to meet them where they are. This is what separates good communicators from great ones. They don't just talk, they engage. They make people feel seen, heard, and understood. Another key element of impactful communication is authenticity. People may be impressed by someone who appears confident and polished, but they connect with someone who is genuine. When we try too hard to impress, we can come across as distant or unrelatable. But when we are honest, when we share our experiences, our struggles, and our lessons learned, we build trust. People respect leaders who don't pretend to be perfect, but are willing to be real. Stories are one of the most powerful tools in impactful communication. Facts may inform people, but stories inspire them. A well-told story brings emotions, experiences, and lessons to life. It helps people see themselves in the message and creates a lasting impression. If we want to move people, we must do more than give them information, we must give them something to feel. Another important aspect of creating impact is adaptability. Every audience is different, and the way we communicate should reflect that. What resonates with one person may not resonate with another. This is why great communicators pay attention to their audience's reactions and adjust accordingly. They are flexible, making sure their message is not just heard but received. Above all, impactful communication requires a servant mindset. The greatest communicators see their role not as performers but as guides. Their goal is not to be the center of attention but to help others grow. They speak to add value, to uplift, and to inspire. And because their focus is on giving rather than receiving, their words leave a lasting impression. At the end of the day, communication is not about us, it is about those we are speaking to. If we shift our focus from impressing others to impacting them, our words will carry more meaning, more power, and more influence. Because people may forget what we said, but they will never forget how we made them feel. One of the greatest challenges in communication is that most people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. Instead of fully engaging in what the other person is saying, they are already formulating their response, waiting for their turn to speak. But real communication isn't just about exchanging words, it's about building a bridge of understanding. If we want to improve our ability to connect with others, we must shift our focus from listening to respond to listening to understand. Listening is one of the most powerful yet underrated skills in communication. Many assume that great communicators are those who speak well, but the truth is the best communicators are those who listen well. They make people feel valued, heard, and respected. They don't dominate conversations, they engage in them. They don't interrupt, they invite others to share. They don't listen just for the sake of responding. They listen to learn, to connect, and to serve. When we genuinely listen to someone, we send them a message that they matter. We show them that their thoughts and experiences are important. And when people feel truly heard, they become more open, more trusting, and more willing to engage in meaningful conversation. If we want to improve our communication, we must first improve the way we listen. One way to develop better listening skills is to be fully present. Too often people are distracted when others speak. They check their phones, think about what they need to do next, or let their minds wander. But true listening requires focus. It means putting everything else aside and giving the speaker our full attention. It means maintaining eye contact, nodding in acknowledgement, and responding with genuine interest. When we are present in a conversation, we create a space where real communication can happen. Another important aspect of listening is asking the right questions. Many people assume that good listening is just about staying silent while the other person speaks. But real listening is active and involves curiosity, engagement, and follow-up questions that show we care about what is being said. When we ask thoughtful questions, we encourage the other person to open up, to go deeper, and to share more. And the more they share, the stronger the connection becomes. Empathy also plays a critical role in listening. It's not enough to hear someone's words. We must seek to understand their emotions as well. People don't just communicate through what they say, they communicate through how they say it. Their tone, their expressions, and their body language all reveal deeper meanings. When we listen with empathy, we don't just process words, we connect with feelings. And when people feel understood, they feel valued. Listening also requires patience. Sometimes we are quick to finish someone's sentence, correct their words, or jump in with our own opinions. But effective communication is not a race. It requires slowing down, giving others space to express themselves, and allowing silence when needed. A pause in a conversation is not an opportunity to take over, it is an invitation to reflect. When we give people time to fully share their thoughts, we create an environment where they feel comfortable expressing themselves. One of the greatest benefits of listening to understand is that it strengthens relationships. Whether in leadership, business, or personal life, people gravitate toward those who make them feel heard. Leaders who listen gain the trust of their teams. Friends who listen build deeper bonds. Families who listen create stronger connections. Communication is not just about speaking, it is about making others feel seen, valued, and understood. Another key aspect of listening is humility. Too often people enter conversations with the mindset that they already know what the other person is going to say. But real listening requires an open mind. It requires a willingness to learn, even when we think we already have the answers. Every person we meet has a perspective and experience and a story that we can learn from if we are willing to listen. The most powerful communicators understand that their words carry more meaning when they are rooted in understanding. Before they speak, they take the time to listen. Before they offer advice, they make sure they fully grasp the situation. And before they seek to be heard, they make sure others feel heard first. Because communication is not about winning a conversation, it is about creating a connection. If we want to improve our communication, we must start by improving our listening. We must listen with presence, with empathy, and with patience. We must listen not just to answer, but to truly understand. Because when people feel heard, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they open the door to real, meaningful, and lasting connections. Words have incredible power. They can inspire or discourage, build up or tear down, connect or divide. But communication is not just about the words we choose, it is about the intention behind them. Every time we speak, we have an opportunity to make an impact. And that impact is shaped by the level of intention we bring to our communication. When we are intentional with our words and emotions, we create connections that are meaningful, clear, and lasting. Too often people speak without thinking. They react instead of respond. They say things in the heat of the moment without considering how their words might affect those around them. But great communicators don't just speak, they choose their words with care. They understand that words are not just sounds, they carry emotions, meaning, and influence. Before they speak, they pause. They ask themselves, what do I want this person to feel? What do I want them to take away from this conversation? How can I say this in a way that builds trust rather than breaks it? This kind of intentionality is what separates effective communication from careless conversation. One of the greatest challenges in communication is ensuring that what we say aligns with how we say it. Words alone are not enough. Our tone, body language, and emotions all play a role in how our message is received. A simple phrase like "I'm fine" can mean completely different things depending on the way it is spoken. That's why intentional communication goes beyond words. It requires us to be mindful of how we deliver our message. It means speaking with sincerity, ensuring that our words match our emotions, and being aware of how we make others feel. Intentional communication also involves clarity. Many misunderstandings happen not because people disagree, but because they are unclear about what is being said. When we communicate without clear intention, we risk confusing or misleading others. That's why great communicators take the time to make their messages simple, direct, and easy to understand. They don't use complicated language to sound impressive. They don't beat around the bush. They focus on being clear, concise, and purposeful. The goal is not just to be heard, it is to be understood. Listening is another key part of intentional communication. Too often people focus only on what they want to say next rather than fully engaging in the conversation. But communication is a two-way street. When we listen with intention, we gain insight into what others truly need. We pick up on their emotions, their concerns, and their expectations. And when we respond with that understanding in mind, our words become more meaningful. People don't just want to be spoken to, they want to be heard. When we listen first, we communicate better. Another important element of intentional communication is emotional awareness. People don't just process words, they process feelings. They remember how a conversation made them feel long after they forget the exact words that were spoken. That's why it's crucial to be aware of the emotions we bring into a conversation. If we speak with frustration, we will create tension. If we speak with empathy, we'll create connection. The energy we bring into a conversation influences its outcome. That's why great communicators, managers measure emotions before they speak. They don't let anger, impatience, or stress dictate their words. Instead, they choose to communicate in a way that fosters understanding, respect, and trust. Being intentional with our words also means being thoughtful about timing. There's a right time and a wrong time for every conversation. A difficult discussion should not happen in the middle of a stressful situation. A word of encouragement should not be delayed until it's too late to make an impact. Timing matters just as much as the message itself. Great communicators understand this and choose their moments wisely. They know that the right words at the right time can change everything. Another sign of intentional communication is adaptability. Every person and situation is different, and a one-size-fits-all approach to communication doesn't work. What resonates with one person might not resonate with another. That's why great communicators pay attention to their audience. They adjust their message to fit the context, the emotions, and the needs of those they are speaking to. Whether it's a professional setting, a personal conversation, or public speech, they make sure their words are relevant and impactful. At the heart of intentional communication is the desire to serve others. The best communicators don't speak just to be heard, they speak to help, to guide, and to inspire. They focus not on what they want to say, but on what others need to hear. They use their words as a tool to uplift, to educate, and to strengthen relationships. And because they communicate with purpose, their words leave a lasting impact. If we want to improve our communication, we must be intentional. We must think before we speak, choose our words with care, and ensure that our emotions align with our message. We must listen fully, adapt to our audience, and speak with clarity. Because when we communicate with intention, we don't just exchange words, we create connection, trust, and lasting influence. One of the most powerful elements of communication is trust. No matter how skilled a speaker may be, if people do not trust them, their words will have little impact. Trust is not built through polished speeches or impressive vocabulary. It is built through authenticity. People connect with those who are real, honest, and transparent. When we communicate with authenticity, we create relationships based on trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. Many people believe that being a good communicator means always knowing the right thing to say. But true connection does not come from perfection, it comes from sincerity. When we try too hard to sound impressive, we create a barrier between ourselves and others. People don't relate to perfection, they relate to real experiences, real emotions, and real struggles. The most powerful communicators are not those who present themselves as flawless, but those who are willing to be themselves. Authenticity in communication means speaking from the heart. It means aligning our words with our values and beliefs. It means saying what we mean and meaning what we say. People can sense when someone is being genuine, just as they can sense when someone is being fake. A speaker may have the most eloquent delivery, but if their words lack sincerity, their message will fall flat. On the other hand, even a simple message spoken with honesty and conviction can inspire and move people. One of the key ways to communicate authentically is to be open about our experiences. Many people hesitate to share their struggles or failures because they fear it will make them look weak. But the truth is, vulnerability is one of the strongest forms of connection. When we are willing to share not just our successes, but also our challenges and lessons learned, we allow others to see themselves in our story. People don't just want to hear about achievements, they want to hear about the journey, the obstacles, and the moments of doubt. Because in those moments they see that they are not alone. Being authentic also means listening as much as we speak. Authentic communication is not just about expressing ourselves, it's about engaging with others in a meaningful way. It's about valuing different perspectives, being open to feedback, and showing a genuine interest in others. When people feel that we are truly listening, not just waiting for our turn to speak, they trust us more. They see us as someone who values them, not just someone who wants to be heard. Another important aspect of authenticity is consistency. Our words must match our actions. Nothing damages credibility faster than saying one thing and doing another. If we speak about the importance of honesty but are not honest ourselves, our words lose power. If we talk about the value of respect but treat others poorly, our message loses meaning. The strongest communicators live out what they say. Their words carry weight because their actions back them up. Emotional honesty is also crucial in authentic communication. Too often people try to hide their true feelings, putting on a mask to appear strong, confident, or unaffected. But people connect with emotions, not facades. If we are excited about something, we should express it. If we are uncertain, we should admit it. If we are passionate, we should let that passion show. Authentic communication is not about suppressing emotions, it is about expressing them in a way that strengthens connection and understanding. Being authentic also means embracing who we are. Many people try to change their communication style to fit a certain mold, believing they need to be more charismatic, more outgoing, or more polished. But the best communicators don't try to be someone they're not. They embrace their unique voice, their natural way of expressing themselves, and their own personal style. Because when we are comfortable in our own skin, people feel more comfortable with us. Authenticity builds trust, and trust leads to influence. Whether in leadership, business, or personal relationships, people listen to those they trust. They follow those who are real. They are drawn to those who communicate not to impress, but to connect. When we are authentic, we don't just gain people's attention, we earn their respect. If we want to be better communicators, we must be willing to be real. We must let go of the need to appear perfect and instead focus on being honest, open, and sincere. We must listen as much as we speak, share our true experiences, and let our actions align with our words. Because when we communicate with authenticity, we create deeper connections, build stronger relationships, and leave a lasting impact. Communication is a skill, and like any skill, it requires continuous growth. No one becomes a great communicator overnight. It takes practice, reflection, and a commitment to lifelong learning. The best communicators are not those who assume they have mastered the art of speaking, but those who consistently seek to improve. They understand that there is always more to learn, more ways to grow, and more opportunities to refine how they connect with others. Many people believe that communication is something you either have or you don't. They assume that some are naturally gifted speakers while others are not. But the truth is, communication is not just a talent, it is a discipline. It is developed over time through intentional effort. Every conversation, every speech, every interaction is an opportunity to become better. Those who excel in communication are not necessarily the ones with the most confidence or charisma. They are the ones who are most committed to learning. One of the most effective ways to grow as a communicator is to seek feedback. Many people hesitate to ask for feedback because they fear criticism. But growth only happens when we are willing to learn from our mistakes. Honest feedback allows us to see the gaps in our communication areas where we may be unclear, unengaging, or disconnected from our audience. Great communicators actively seek out constructive criticism because they know that improvement comes from awareness. They listen to how others perceive their words and they make adjustments based on what they learn. Another key aspect of growth is studying great communicators. Learning from others is one of the fastest ways to develop our own skills. Whether it's a powerful speaker, an inspiring leader, or even someone we admire in our personal lives, observing how they communicate can provide valuable insights. What makes them engaging? How do they structure their messages? How do they connect with their audience? By studying those who communicate well, we gain new strategies and perspectives that can strengthen our own ability to connect with people. Growth in communication also requires self-reflection. After every important conversation, presentation, or interaction, it helps to take a moment to ask what went well. What could have been clearer? How did my words impact the other person? Self-awareness is crucial because improvement starts with recognizing where we can do better. Great communicators take responsibility for their words and their impact. They don't blame misunderstandings on their audience. They look for ways to express themselves more effectively next time. Another essential part of growth is practicing consistently. Communication is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. Many people only think about improving their communication when they have a major presentation or a big meeting. But the best communicators practice every day in every interaction. They refine their ability to articulate thoughts clearly in casual conversations. They work on their listening skills in everyday discussions. They pay attention to their tone, their body language, and their ability to engage others even in small moments. Improvement doesn't happen in a single speech. It happens in the thousands of conversations that lead up to it. Great communicators also embrace adaptability. Every audience is different. Every situation requires a slightly different approach. A message that resonates with one group may not connect with another. This is why flexibility is crucial. The best communicators don't just prepare a speech and deliver it the same way every time. They adjust based on the people they are speaking to. They read the room. They notice when engagement drops and shift their approach. They refine their message in real time to ensure it lands effectively. Growth in communication is not about rigid perfection. It's about the ability to adjust, adapt, and connect in any situation. A key part of continuous growth is also expanding our knowledge. The more we learn, the more we have to share. The best communicators are lifelong learners. They read books, engage in meaningful conversations, and expose themselves to new ideas. They are curious about the world, which makes them more insightful, more engaging, and more impactful when they speak. If we want to communicate in a way that influences and inspires others, we must first be committed to expanding our own understanding. Above all, growth in communication requires patience. No one becomes an exceptional communicator in a day. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to improve, even when progress feels slow. The important thing is to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep refining. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming the kind of communicator who can truly make a difference. If we want to improve our communication, we must embrace growth as a lifelong process. We must seek feedback, learn from others, reflect on our experiences, and practice consistently. We must remain adaptable, expand our knowledge, and be patient with the journey. Because the best communicators are not those who believe they have arrived, but those whose communication is more than just speaking. It is about connecting, inspiring, and making a difference. When we communicate with intention, clarity, authenticity, and a commitment to growth, we don't just exchange words, we build trust, strengthen relationships, and leave a lasting impact. Every conversation is an opportunity to lead, to encourage, and to bring value to others. The journey to becoming a great communicator is never ending, but every step forward makes a difference. Keep learning, keep refining, and keep using your voice to uplift and inspire those around you. As you work to improve your communication, remember that the power of your words can shape lives, open doors, and create meaningful change. Good luck on your journey, and thank you.